There's a saying that goes, a product of their environment. And the first time I heard it actually is in a very famous movie, The Departed. He's like, I want to be a product of my environment. It's a bad Jack Nicholson impression, whatever you want to call it. But that is how I feel currently about UFC President Dana White. And for as many criticisms that Dana White gets, the guy is a flat-out promotional genius. There is no doubt about that. He's probably the best fight promoter that's ever lived. And I say that with much respect. What he's done for the UFC has been truly remarkable over the last few years. What he's done for the sport of MMA, the pedestal that he's been able to put it on, the way he's been able to market the sport, the things that he's done have just been truly incredible. And it's 3-0 Red Sox, by the way. But anyway, I think that with this whole situation with Conor and Khabib, I said you have to point the blame at everyone, and you do. And I want to shed some light just on Dana White and the situation that he has overseen. He's the top dog. He's the guy that calls the shots. He's the boss. It's his way or the highway, as he so famously said on a season of The Ultimate Fighter back in the day. The situation that he's created is one where he is promoting fights with different narratives each and every month. And you look at the roster. You look at the roster of champions. You have DC as a heavyweight and as a light heavyweight. Is he pissed? Yes or no? Yes, he's pissed. He's about to get his light heavyweight title taken away, one that was given back to him off a no contest fight, one in which that he originally lost, but he's getting it taken away for the fighter that beat him, quote unquote, beat him for that title, John Jones, to fight Alexander Gustafsson in late December, the last card of 2018, in the main event. It hasn't been confirmed, but it's been highly rumored, and it's pretty much a done deal. So the heavyweight and light heavyweight champ is pissed at him. The middleweight champ, Robert Whittaker, not many people know about. He's doing what he can to promote him by putting him on The Ultimate Fighter as a coach. But Robert Whittaker has an injury, so who knows when he's going to be fighting. The welterweight champ, Tyron Woodley, is at a point where he is just, he's had his fair share of criticisms on Dana, and Dana has had his fair share of criticisms on Tyron. If there's any fighter in the UFC's history outside of Tito Ortiz that Dana White has negatively promoted, that is Tyron Woodley. He said things about how Tyron can't sell pay-per-views, he gets booed, the fans don't like him, the way he talks to the fans is wrong, and all that might be true, but when the fans themselves hear that from the top dog, then the fans are not going to, they're not going to buy the pay-per-views. So he's almost counterproductively hurting his business while trying to help it in the case of Tyron Woodley. And he puts him in there with Darren Till. He was largely hoping that I think Darren Till would win that fight. Now, you can say, well, why would the guy hope that another guy would win a fight in his own company? There is something called politics that are involved in this sport, unfortunately, now more than ever. And we've seen that with Conor McGregor. We've seen that with guys like Darren Till. We've seen that during the championship era of Michael Bisping, where Bisping was able to fight a number 15 ranked Dan Henderson. And as much as I loved the fight, because I'm a hardcore fan, I've been around a long time in the sport, watched the sport, covered the sport, everything like that, knowing that Bisping and Henderson had this history of Henderson notching the greatest knockout on Bisping, it gave me an opportunity as a fan to see that rematch and see how that would take place, what would take place within that. I enjoyed that, but the case for it was very tough to be made. And when Dana White said on that season of The Ultimate Fighter, I believe it was the third season, maybe fourth season, the season with Penn and Pulver, might have been season 5 or 3. I can't remember. Maybe season 4. But anyway, when he said it was his way or the highway, that was in the early 2000s. He was right. For as many fans that have issues with the way the sport is going on now, some of the decisions that are made, the way the decisions are made, all go through Dana White. He's the top dog. He calls the shots. So for the fans out there that had issues with his promotional tools that he used in the UFC 229, that is warranted. Those were all on him. And now Dana is on the outside looking in with a lightweight division mess in regards to Khabib and Conor. What took place during the fight was great. Maybe he had wanted Conor to win. Maybe he'd hoped that Conor would win, so his biggest draw would continue to push forward and strive forward, but that didn't happen. He knew the collateral damage was, well, the guy I, business-wise, was hoping would win was Conor. It didn't happen, but now I have a Khabib this dominant champion. Oh, wait, no, I don't, because he jumped out of the cage and assaulted people, or attempted to assault people. Oh, wait, I might not have Conor McGregor either, because he punched Khabib's cornerman before Khabib's cornerman punched him. Oh, wait, I got Nate Diaz, who I've thrown to the curb so many times. Oh, wait, I got Tony Ferguson in this division, who I made play second fiddle to a man he was supposed to fight and to another man he was supposed to fight. So it's unbelievable that the division is in the state that it's in. For as deep as it is, the 155-pound division in the UFC, it's in such a disarray with all the talent that it is in, all due to the fact that Dana White has put all of his eggs into one basket, and that one basket is the Conor McGregor basket. And so far, while he may have reaped the reward financially, he has not reaped the reward performance-wise. The Mayweather fight was a huge money grab. Did many people think he could win? No, but Dana White was going out on every major sports show saying that he had won, or that he was going to win. And it didn't happen. Then he tells people that, this fight's going to happen, and Conor does the promotion, and it was very pro-McGregor in the ways of Dana White, saying that, McGregor's definitely gotten to Khabib and all this stuff. It's so obvious to sports fans around the country that Dana is in love with his nephew, Conor McGregor. There's no doubt. And I understand it, because Conor brings in the money, he brings in the numbers, but at the end of the day, if this is supposed to be a quote-unquote sport, it should be taken more seriously. The fighters that deserve the opportunity to fight for titles should be the fighters that are fighting for titles, not the ones that tap in title fights and then ask for immediate rematches. It's very tough to sell that to me, no matter who you are. Very tough to sell that. Will I see that fight if it comes to fruition? Of course. I'm a fight fan. But I won't be happy about it. I think other guys deserve the opportunity, but those other guys have been put on the back burner by Dana White, which leads to Dana White now being a product of his environment. I'll go all the way down the line. Max Holloway, fighter that they force-fed to Khabib, hoping that he'd save the event, knowing that he shouldn't be fighting at 145 pounds. This guy has trouble making weight for this event at 155 pounds. I've heard barely anything since. Have heard he is confirmed to fight Ortega in December, but outside of that, nothing truly from Dana White on Max Holloway, which worries me. Regardless of the fact that he's not scheduled to fight, regardless of the fact that he's scheduled to fight in 2.5 months, or 2 months actually to the day, I haven't heard a thing. TJ Dillashaw, it's no secret. His last 2 fights against Cody Garbrandt, the UFC was pining for Cody Garbrandt to win those fights. They loved Cody Garbrandt. They were trying to give Cody Garbrandt a huge push in the first title fight, and they also gave him a push again by giving him an immediate rematch after seeing him get knocked out in the second round. Was it the second or third? Yeah, maybe third. But that's what the UFC is. And it is that Dana White, to being a product of his environment, all of his mismanagement of these divisions, is why we are where we are today. And it's a real shame. It's one of the reasons why we are where we are today. And it's a real shame. Take care, everybody.